Happy New Year, and I hope it's not stale news to say that, but it is still like the second week of the year. This is a social newsroom. My name is Mark Masai.
And I'm Dennis Okari, and this is our first social newsroom episode 1 of 2023.
There you go. And yes, we're 9 minutes late, actually 10 minutes late, but we appreciate the audience joining us internationally and locally on all our social platforms. And we will be given the separate platforms in a moment. But we have two guests of international repute in our first episode, and we're very excited. One is the daughter of our soil, straight from Mogotio, and she's now, I believe, in Chicago, and that is Nelly Cheboi. She is the CEO and founder of TechLit Africa, that is connecting children in rural Kenya, in rural parts of Kenya, to the digital world and the digital potential and space through computer labs. And we want to say thank you for her appreciating joining us. That is, it's in the morning where she's joining us from, and we'll be hearing from Nelly Cheboi in a bit. But also,
well, it's really an exciting evening, episode 1 this year. But then on a sad note, it's a ladies' evening, I know, but we also have Javeria Siddiq, a Pakistani journalist, on a mission, Mark, to find justice for her husband, Arshad Sharif, who's a prominent investigative journalist from Pakistan who was killed in Kenya 78 days ago. This was on October 23rd, somewhere along in Kajiado County. And there are so far no convincing reports or answers from the authorities, whether from the Kenyan side or from the Pakistani side, on what really happened to Arshad. But we're going to hear from her in this exclusive interview this evening.
That's right, and a lot has been revealed and will be revealed in that interview, and we'll be looking to the authorities to respond on record and give answers, not only to Javeria Siddiq, but also to the journalist family around the world, because this touched a journalist and should also be of concern for the Fourth Estate in Kenya and internationally. Now, we will be hearing from both of them.
Oh, yes.
We will have international audience on various platforms, because first of all, I've seen a lot of people are tuning in from Pakistani, thanks to the tweets there, an update from Javeria Siddiq, and the socials that you should be looking out for, because on Social Newsroom, as the name betrays, we're all about being social and connecting with people. At Semabox Africa on YouTube, the Social Newsroom on Facebook, as well as Semabox on Twitter. And this is what we will be talking to and through in terms of interacting as we continue on this first episode. And we're all about connecting.
So tuko live, eh?
Tuko live.
Kila mahali.
International, local, 2020.
Great to be back after our first, well, we can say our intro episode on, when was it?
On
December?
15th of December.
December 15th.
Right.
How was your Christmas, by the way?
Ilikuwa poa. I added a bit of kgs and calories, but tuko sawa.
Mark, you've added weight.
Tuko sawa.
Umeficha wapi?
Iko. My profile is growing.
Well, enjoyed myself
yours?
as well. This has been the most relaxing holiday ever.
Wow.
I mean, going to Shags, making trips back to Nairobi, just enjoying, the holiday season and everything. It's a long holiday, especially for students who are going back to school by end of this month.
That's right.
So there's still a lot.
But it had a sad ending, the year, we have to say, especially for journalists.
Yes, it did. And it's one of those things that you look at life differently, and you realize that, wow, life is too short. You know, man, life is just too short, especially when it happens to somebody that is somebody you've looked up to. And we are talking about who?
Catherine Kasavuli, who died on December 30th. After a long illness, and we would like to pay our condolences and tribute to what we would call a trailblazer, and has had a lot of influence to those who followed after. And I believe she started this in the 80s, in the profession, and her impact and legacy lives on. And we say rest in peace to Catherine Kasavuli, but her legacy lives on through many journalists and newsrooms in Kenya. She made many things possible for others who followed.
Yeah, and she opened many doors for people like yourself and myself. I mean, in the media industry, there's no single person who grew up watching Catherine Kasavuli, especially if you're a media student who didn't look up to her and wish you were like her or be in her position. I mean, I just met her, I think, once when I was joining the Standard Group, Katie and that is, and I just saw her from a distance. And Njoroge Mwaura was the one who was taking me through the paces, teaching me how to read news, how to read an auto cue. And, you know, I looked up to these guys growing up, and you're thinking, you look at this lady, she's so poised, very elegant, her English. I mean, I don't think we'll ever find another Catherine Kasavuli.
Never.
I don't think
Sound,
so.
voice, and beauty, grace, poise, as you've said, of her own. She has left her signature on the media landscape in Kenya and will forever be remembered. So, as they plan to lay her to rest on January 14th, that is on Saturday, we do say call it to the family and also from the media fraternity that was affected directly.
Oh, yes. And just remember, this is the social newsroom, and it's all about stories. And you know, Mark, we talk about the power of stories, and like the two ladies we're going to be interviewing this evening. I mean, it's the power of the human face to the story. We always look at stories from an institutional point of view, or we are talking about, you know, the big CEOs or politicians, government officials, the who's who in the society. But what we want to do here is really talk to the heart and the minds of the people who make news, the newsmakers. We've just talked about, you know, Catherine Kasavuli. And we want to just hear from you. Share with us, you know, who do you want to see on this set? Who do you want us to talk to? Which stories do you want to hear? Which stories do you want us to highlight? These are either stories that are known or are not known, but we are open. You can just type in the comment sections. You can just talk to us, tell us what stories do you want to hear. These could be stories of someone making an impact out there, like the lady you're just about to talk to.
Yes, and also someone else that we are featuring in this episode, and we can see already people talking about it. Bernadette Shaikh, I believe you're in Pakistan following this, and you say justice for Arshad. All the best, Javeria and team. Asima Siddiq also says we want justice for Arshad Sharif, Shahid, and this is a journalist that we spoke, the wife that is, Dennis spoke to, and we will be showing you that exclusive interview in a bit. But live and joining us from the United States of America, but she is straight out of Mogotio, and she has a very, very impressive portfolio, 29 years, and she is Forbes top 30 under 30, CNN Hero of 2022, and she got awarded, I believe, it's under a month now, but has gotten global accolades for what she's doing on a rural level in various parts of the country. And I'm talking about Nelly Cheboi.
I mean,
Well deserved. We appreciate you. If she can hear us and she's joining us live because she's still in the United States, Anapanga Kurudi, we would like to introduce you, the world, to Nelly Cheboi. And yes, there she is. Unakaa soft sana, Unakaa mzuri. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Nelly, congratulations, first of all, and Kongoi for flying our flag high, not just on the track. I think you've started your own track on the software and digital space. You're running with it, and we're proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just tell us, first of all, what that CNN Heroes Award 2022 has done in terms of how your life has changed. I believe it was 26 days ago. How has your life changed since then?
Okay, I'll answer the first question. I think what that award did, being able to bring my mom to the stage was miraculous. And in a few ways, because I grew up, I grew up watching, you know, I saw her. Like we know this, we call them mamambogas, right? We don't even, like, I feel like once you become a teenage mom in the village, that's all you are, mama nani. Like no one knows your name. It's disrespectful for someone to call you by your name. So we have these very hardworking women that are slaving away every day, so, you know, helping their kids, helping their grandkids, helping their community, and nobody knows their name. And most of them, that's all they know. They die in hunger, they die in poverty. And so to be able to, for my mom to come on stage and people meeting her and people know her, I think that was, for me, growing up, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to show her the world. I saw her. I saw her as Christina. I saw her as Sogome, not just as my mom. I saw how hardworking she was. And I saw how neglected she was by society because she's just a mom of daughters, right? And so for me, I always dreamt about showing her the world. I dreamt about her catching a break. I dreamt about, and so it wasn't, I don't think I would have thought of such a global stage for the world to meet her. And so for me, that was just the highlight of the whole thing. And my life hasn't changed much, to be honest. I think for me, it has just been really awesome to have my mom here in America. When I came to America 10 years ago for school, it was just like this far away land. I had two places. Like I can't really describe to someone in Mogotio what snow is, right? And so to see her like walking up the stairs in the apartment, to see her in my college, it really unified the whole two world. And so for me, like it has been more like my life has it's kind of like my life has become complete as opposed to changing, like having this childhood dream come true. And then also just being able to see my mom in that light and feeling so lucky that she's there to celebrate this with me.
And congratulations. We can't say that enough. But Dennis has a question to follow through with the CNN award. Dennis, please.
Actually, so the first question I want to ask, so did you apply? That those people may be wondering, how did this young Kenyan woman get this? So did you apply? So what happened? How did you receive the news when you called and told you want this thing? How was it?
Oh, by the way, it's very easy to get it. So the nomination is open right now. If you go to cnnheroes.com, they have the nominations going on until July or something. So they always have it. And so someone nominates you. It's a very simple form. So if you're listening and you have someone that inspires you, give it a shot. So I did not know anything about CNN Heroes. And so I got a call from them back in February. And it has been a long process of vetting. They came to the ground to Mogotio and they were making this awesome documentary. I don't know if you saw the documentary, but it was really cool. It was really cool because it was like we had never gotten someone to do like a video of our story, and so they came and they did a very good video, which really helped us with our marketing and getting our story out there. So the nomination.
And now your story, sorry about that. Now your story is global and we understand why. But for someone who doesn't know about TechLit Africa, in a sentence, what does TechLit Africa do?
Okay, so the problem that we're solving is that rural Africans lack opportunities to make a living. If you're Kenyan, you understand this. Like there are no jobs in Kenya, but for someone in a global audience, there are no jobs in Kenya. You wake up every morning and you hustle so that you can find something to eat that day. Yet digital skills provide global opportunities. If you know how to code or software engineering, you can work for anyone. So what we are doing, work for anyone, anywhere, like in the world. So what we are doing is that we are teaching digital skills in primary schools. Mm-hmm. So right now, our fifth graders are building websites. Like if you go to TechLit Africa, you can see the website they're building. And some of our teachers right now are working for companies in California from the village. So what we want to happen, when these kids are ready to go, when they're 18 and they're ready to work, they already have a pipeline that they can interview for these jobs. And the coolest part is that they don't have to leave their communities. They'll be like, in Ushago, just doing kuchunga buzi. And then at night, they just work for these American companies and make that money, right? Because you don't have to leave home to make it. That is really the overarching sentiment,
I see Dennis itching to ask a question.
Two comments I'm actually reading before I ask the question. There's Francis Samuel on Facebook who is saying that I like this lady a lot and how she is removing herself in our winning the award. And many times we forget that our parents are the ones who have been there. Hongera cause as you were too. There's someone here who is saying, Kongoi Nelly, they're congratulating you for winning this. But I would want to ask, you leaving a very good job in the US to come teach villagers. Like, why would you make that decision? What drove you to do that. Everybody wants to go to the US. Well, most people would want to go to the US, and especially if you have a good job in the US, but you leave a good job to go back to Mogotio. Why did you think of doing that?
Yeah, I never left home. I never left home. I remember I came to America in August 2012, and then 2013, TK to Kenya coming home. And the whole family almost got an intervention. They're like, "Ninimbana," we're like, "What's wrong with you? Like, why don't you send that money and we buy a plot of land? We still live in a shack. Why are you coming home?" and so I came home all the time. And for me, you know, I don't even know how I can describe it. That song that I sang to my mom on stage, I used to sing to her all the time. That is the song I internalized that song, and that song is a promise. And
Mhm.
so for me, I think the biggest disconnect I saw in my community is that people, it's not that people are lazy, people are working really, really hard.
Yeah.
There's a saying that say that if hard work was a testament, if wealth was a testament of hard work, then every African woman would be a millionaire, because that's how hard we work. But there's no upward mobility. And so for me, as a kid, I'm thinking of ways I can support my mom and rewrite the stories of growing up in Mogotio. And constantly I'm thinking, how can I do it better? Because
Yeah.
like just helping someone start a kibanda, they're gonna be there forever. How can I help it do better? So I was
Mhm.
constantly coming home searching for that. And
Mhm.
so and that pain of growing, I used to go to bed hungry all the time, my stomach churning of night. That pain I don't forget, and I see it in my community all the time. Like, I see Mama Mboga, who has been there since I was in class 2, and she's still there. Of course she has ambition. I don't even know her name, because it could be, like that. It's Mama Nani, right? And so I don't know what her fears are, but I know that she doesn't want that life, but that's the life that she has to do,
Yes.
working really every single day, and life is still the same. And
And
so that
there,
was.
yeah, sorry. There is this, and I'll allow you to tell us a bit more of how you got to where you are. But there is this story that you turned down or quit a lucrative software engineering job in Chicago to pursue forming and taking off with TechLit Africa. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. It's like, for me, it was like really use a computer. And so when I came to America, I really struggled. And
Mhm.
so when I discovered technology, I realized the power of it. That actually I can educate the kids. I can teach them how to make money online. And
Mhm.
that in turn will break this cycle of poverty that we were succumbed to as a community.
Yes.
And so it was really like, it was so powerful, right? And I was like, I have to do that. I just have, you know what? I grew up in poverty. Nimazeo maskini. What is like? I didn't. It was like, it's fine. I didn't. For me, it was more about just the power of making that happen. Like,
Yes.
I don't really care about glamour. You can tell. Look at my hair, right? Like,
Oh,
I
it's
don't.
beautiful. I mean, at
Yeah.
least you have some hair.
No, I don't. Like, for me, it's like, my life is bigger than me. Like
Right.
things like vacation or fancy lives, I just don't care about it. And
Right.
so there wasn't any kind of fulfillment in, like, even if I'm making this much money, what do I do with it? And
Yeah.
funny enough, it's like all the money I made in America, I built a school with it. So like I also have a school. I have like a 4-storied community center, and women are coming in and learning hair braiding. And so any money I was making, I was investing in the community. And often I used to ask myself this question all the time:
Mhm.
if I win $1 million, what will I do with it? And
Right.
the answer was always, I'll donate to someone who teaches technology and ways that people can make money online so they can break poverty. So
Mhm.
when that question, that was the answer all the time. I'll ask myself, like, after a month, I'll ask myself, after a year, I'll ask myself. And I was like, wait, why don't I just go do that?
Right.
So it was like, it was so clear that's what I needed to do, what I
And
wanted to.
what does that CNN Hero Award come with practically? Because you've mentioned money and how it will
Yeah.
empower you to grow TechLit Africa. There was a figure given that at the award ceremony that you'd be getting 100,000 US dollars. What comes with this that will actually boost you?
Yeah, it comes with a lot of money. I think it comes. I don't know yet because the money hasn't come in. So I'm reading the news as you are. So I'm like, "Oh, I hope that's true." It comes with a lot of money, and it's just gonna help us grow our organization in a nutshell.
Mhm.
It's going to be like the money is not coming to me; it's coming to TechLit Africa, the organization.
Right.
And so this year we are working on. We want to get to 100 schools. So last
Okay.
year was a bit challenging because of the election, but this year we want to get to 100 schools. So with that win, I really hope it's gonna be easier. And
Mhm.
what I really hope it's gonna help with, even more than the money, is the sentiment of TechLit Africa in our communities. It was really hard to convince schools before to adopt TechLit Africa. And like I have a phone, like I have called like 1,000 head teachers, and it was such a struggle. So
Mhm.
I'm really excited to come home, and I hope that with this win and with this publicity and with this coverage, that people will actually listen to us and
Mhm.
work with us to
Okay.
to empower the kids.
Yes. And I'm sure Dennis wants to get to the feedback on what people are saying as they follow this conversation. But so far, I believe it's schools in 3 counties, and you're looking at about 4,000 children that you have impacted. So beyond, yeah,
15 schools. Yeah. 15
fif-
schools and
15 schools. Very
so
well
about
done.
1,000. Yeah.
So there are people who are watching who either are part of school administrations and are stakeholders and would want your help. How can they get to you or in touch with you to get support?
Yeah. So this is not it's not really called a support, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
It's a partnership. So this is what TechLead does. TechLead provides the computers. We also hire the community, people from the community to teach the classes. So our teachers are there every morning from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And as you can see, our kids are building websites at grade 5, right? That's just how impactful we are. As a school, we are asking you to pay for the teachers. And that's what the disconnect is that people, it's really hard for, like, if they don't understand the value, it's very hard to convince them to pay. So we ask them to pay for the teachers, and that is very sustainable
Yeah.
because once the computers are in the community, they are creating jobs, right? They are teaching the kids, and it can run forever instead of depending on fundraising and philanthropic dollars all the time. And that's
Mhm.
all there is to it. So if you're in a rural, like we have two criteria. We only work with rural schools because it's a completely different market from cities. You know, in
Yes.
rural schools, you have to optimize for lack of electricity. You have to optimize for like so many other different things that you wouldn't do
Mhm.
like in urban slums, for example.
Mhm.
So our focus is rural areas, and then if a school is willing to help us with the cost of running the program, that's it. Tunakuja. That's really all there is to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dennis.
I think, Nelly, your story is so swinging, and I think wisdom precedes your age. I mean, with the things that you're saying,
Yeah.
there's a gentleman called Kibet on Facebook, I think is your village mate. He's saying, very impressive watching Nelly Cheboi's story. There is another one here, guys watching live from Lamu. We have someone else here watching from Kisi, my village, somebody else watching from Doha, Qatar. Then there is someone here who says that, congratulations, girl, your mama taught you well. And then, and yes, there's a Code King says, this is a superwoman. I mean, listening to an inspiring story.
Yeah.
Arap Argui says, you worked so hard and pushed your abilities to the limit to make your dreams a success. Congratulations. To Pchet, I don't know what that means. I hope it's not. You are an inspiration to many.
Yeah, and Annie says, this lady is an inspiration. We celebrate you. And with the attention that you're getting and with the appreciation that is coming your way, would you perhaps accept or agree to a job to partner or collaborate with, let's say, government, work with schools directly? As you know, we're undergoing a transition in the curriculum. If His Excellency William Ruto picked up the phone and said, Cheboi, kuja tuongee, tutafanya kazi?
I don't know. I don't know. That's like I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. It's like
But
it's too vague. The question is too vague. I mean, I
yeah,
don't. Yeah.
no. But for instance, we're going through the curriculum change and transition. what would your advice be then to the minister who is in charge of the education docket, as well as the president? Because
I really, okay, that's one I can answer. So CBC is very powerful. I know there's a lot of sentiment. There's like all TikToks about him is CBC, but I love CBC, and for me the disconnect that I was seeing was that you are with 844, as long as you're a student, like from class 1 to form 4, like you didn't know what the real world was. So you were just like, your parents are running around just to pay your tuition. You were just, when you're a student, you're so sheltered. And then once you graduate from 4, you're expected to just go and figure out life. Like just go and get a job immediately and go figure stuff out. And that, so what was happening is that we were churning out people that have no idea what, like the skills that they were getting was just a lot of memorization. Like there wasn't really real skills. But now with CBC, we have like a class 5 student who knows how kuza mboga sokoni. They already know how to hustle. It's already baked into the curriculum. And so that creativity and self-reliance is very powerful. And I know that CBC has been very challenging, especially when it becomes a question about the disparity, right? Oh, some schools have this, some schools don't. But the conversation, that is a much better conversation to have, is like, how do we make this curriculum universal? How do we accommodate for the schools that don't have it, instead of using that disparity to disregard it, to be like, oh, so some schools in let's say Mogotio don't have computers, therefore CBC should be abolished. No. How do we actually help the schools in Mogotio don't have computers actually have access to that? Right. And so and I really think that it's gonna be very painful, like just adopting this curriculum and making it worldwide, like making it universal in the nation. But I think it's worth it. Right. And yeah, I really think we just have to keep at it. We just have to, all of us have to understand what the curriculum is trying to do instead of making fun of it. I know, yes, the jokes are there. It's really cute to see like a kid in class 5 saying, no, I get it. But really just like, instead of saying like eradicate CBC, I think there's so much power in it. So we just have to keep building it. Yeah. You can only improve when you work on it. So if we get rid of it, we can't really improve. So let's rewind back to your message to the youth and other people who feel that they're powerless, because you struggled through, and you were able to go through school. You got an A. You can still hear me. Apologies for that. Yeah. I think you're muted now. Yeah, I think it was our Facebook feed. Apologies for that. But you got a scholarship after getting an A in high school, and well done for that, through a lot of hardship. And there's a part you say you actually would read because hamkuwa na mafuta ya either koroboi ama ya ile lamps. Yeah. Kerosene, yeah, no kerosene lamps. Yeah. Yes. Where would you study? Well, I mean, again, it's just like, so I used to study in verandas. Like, there's a hospital nearby. I used to go and study there because we couldn't afford kerosene. Where did I get the drive from? Is that what you're asking? Yes, as you encourage the youth, because I mean, someone would say, "Oh, she got an A, she got a scholarship." Oh my God, I can give you a little bit of. So I grew up in Mogotio, and I went to Mogotio Primary, which is a public school, village school. Yes. And from there, I was the top girl in Kwebatek district, like from a public village school. And so, and then with that, I got a scholarship to go to not a scholarship. I got top girl. I went to a national school, in Thika, Mary Hill Girls. And in Mary Hill Girls, I could not afford tuition. I could not even afford transportation back home, like matatu. I could not afford bus fare. And so every time I'm sent home, I have to call my mom, and my mom has to organize ways where I can get home. And then tunapika mandazi, like we're at the kibanda for a week, so that I can just get transportation back, not even the fees I was sent to take. And so I was doing my assignments. I was studying on the road at the kibanda. That's how I got my high school education. I was constantly sent home. And so, no, it wasn't easy getting that A. But I think for me, it was, I think, I don't know where I get this, but I always engineer my future in a way, in that I look at myself and all the power that I have at the moment, and I say, what can I do now so that future Nelly, when future Nelly looks back and looks at this moment, I don't have to regret and say, I should have done this, I should have done that. And so in a way, it's like I'm preparing. I'm anything. Even with the CNN voting, it was like I could not. It was really hard to get votes, to be honest. So hard because like the people that I'm working with, the villagers, they don't even know how to vote or stuff like that. So I always try all I could in my given situation, so that when I look back, I don't have to regret. Even if it goes bad, I'm like, I tried all I could. And so, and I think for me, I see, it was going back to the promise to my mom. It was like, I see you, mom, and I want you to catch a break, and I'm gonna try all I could. And so that promise, like I'm thinking about her, I'm thinking about other women in my community, I'm thinking about kids in my friends, and I'm thinking about the pain of poverty, and I'm just thinking, how can I solve it? So I've always had that drive to fix it. And so I was already like doing it even before I left. Like when I got an A, I was like, mimi ni Nelly, nimepata A. And then I get speaking engagements and they pay me like 3,000 Kenya shillings. And I use that money to like help my mom with the kibanda or help my sisters with the tuition. Then nilikuwa nauza makaa, like I'm just like selling, makaa by the road. And then that money, it just goes back to investing and helping my mom because I really just wanted to help her. And so I think I looked at poverty and I was like, I'm gonna fight it with every bone in my being, as opposed to accepting it as a norm and just living in it.
Right. And you got that scholarship but I believe 2012, you went to the United States, or at least that support to go to the United States to get an education. And someone might say, sukapenya basi. How was the start and the takeoff there?
Oh, it was so hard. It was really hard because I get there and my family still lives in a shack. Like the house we grew up in, like when it rains, it just floods. Like I slept on the floor all my life. So like when it's raining, like you have to like hold the mattress because you have to stand because the mattress is getting wet. And so when I got to America, my family, like, yes, I'm living in a nice dome, but my family is still living there. So immediately, like in America, you can work as a student. It's not a fancy job. Mi nilikuwa naosha choo, but then najua kuosha choo sana. So, so I worked as a janitor and I saved all my money. So when most people like they don't have to worry about supporting their families, they're going on vacation to Mexico. Mimi niko tu kwa dome tu na shugua tu choo. Like I was just like, and so in 1 year, like I had like 100,000 Kenya shillings saved, that which is not a lot of money. And I flew to Gikomba, and I flew to Nairobi, went to Gikomba. I bought kila kitu, hadi vijiko. Like I bought mattress, sofa set, nini. And I drove all the way to Mogotio because I was moving my family out of that shack. So it was like I had responsibilities immediately when I got here. So it was more like, how can I get a job and support my family? And then after I did that in 2013, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna build a school now. I was like, yeah, let's take a stab at making our education system better. So I had ideas of CBC even before like the curriculum was. I wanted to see how can I teach kids ways they can make money and entrepreneurship instead of just taking them through 844. My biggest problem with 844 is that it was filtering out the best. If you don't do well out of KCP, you don't go into a good high school and that's it, right? You're just constantly filtered out, which is not good. It's a way of like raising the economy and feed a generation. That's not the best way, right? And so I was thinking, how can I incentivize these people? And so I was already building a school until I discovered computer science and I realized, oh, tech is more powerful. So I never really left. That is the point here. Is I never really left Mogotio. I just took a trip to America to get an education.
So unarudi lini?
Sijui, I'm waiting for some papers.
Hivyo ndio unatutoka.
No. Like American immigration is very, very hard. So I think, you have to like get all the right stamps, otherwise it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. And Dennis, this is a story of what do you have in your hands? in your hands, and she has shown us that it's possible. What are some of the responses, and even as you follow?
There's someone here was asking, anajua kuongea Kiswahili? So, I mean, Christina, picking from what you've just said, Mark, she exudes wisdom. I mean, Christina Rossetti says, my life is bigger than me. That's a very powerful statement coming from Nelly Cheboi. Otanga is watching from New Delhi, India, by the way.
Oh.
Otanga is watching. Nelly, it will be good to just hear what people are saying. So there's Abu Mohammed who says, nice conversation. This lady is so inspiring. And Kibet says, these are the stories worth watching.
Tech is more powerful.
Nice. So there's Code King here who also says, I feel like recording this conversation. The impact of tech is immense, with some fire emojis there. And then Mama Ketif, vile nategemea Wi-Fi ya office, gas yako home inachemsha githeri. Somebody was complaining about Wi-Fi inaisha. Code King from Kigali, thank you so much for that. Christina again says, Kenyans always making us proud. And then Sorobi Moturi Rasta. Sorobi, life is not about the me, and all about me, but others. God is looking for people who can act as a gateway for God to bless others through men. Abu Mohammed is watching from Saudi, by the way. Charity from Riyadh, tuned in. Viniza from Bahrain, the lady is amazing. And then there's Frank Samuel says, I'm personally praying for her and the great dreams. Sometimes when we declare what we have in life, the opposition is not happy since we have given them what we want to do. More prayers for our dreams. The social newsroom is just one of the biggest things that will be this year. You're a force, man. This is from Lamek Oigara. Thank you, Lamek. Jacinta Karua says, very inspiring, selfless, changing the world. May God go ahead of you and make a way for you. Robert Mwai, watching from Kakamega, says, congratulations to the lady. She's an inspiration to many. Kenyans are proud of her, watching from Kakamega, Masinde Muliro University. So we have a lot of techies who are also watching. Johnson Kipkering Sang, saying, watching from Bomet, you will go far, Nelly. And then there's somebody who's asking for your link. George Machineri says, share the link or contact for TechLit Africa.
Exactly.
It's on our website, yes.
Just go to...
Contact there.
Yes.
You can find jobs. We're hiring, so yes, take a look at TechLit Africa jobs.
TechLit.Africa. That's TechLitAfrica.org. That is the website. And tunaweza pata kazi. Unajua labda tunaongea na mdosi hapa.
Haya bana, kazi yangu ni. No.
when you're now, famous, people calling you, DMing you, I'm sure, and people have your people's lips, people talking about you. But when you were doing that job as a janitor, who was calling you? Who was motivating you? What was the push?
I want to say I fantasize a lot. I what is a fancier way of saying that? I don't know. I just I'm in my mind a lot. I'm constantly imagining the future. And it's very funny because I'm always imagining right now I'm thinking oh my God, Bowen is building a website at grade 5. In 6 years or in 7 years, he'll be ready to work. And what jobs can I organize for him so that he can just work for Google or work for these big companies? Okay, what do I need to do now? So I don't know if I have so much positivity in me. I just I burst in energy of positivity and happiness. If you see my pictures, I'm constantly smiling. And so and I think that is very powerful to find for anyone. You want to find it. You want to find what drives. And so I don't, in a way that anything external doesn't really faze me. If I'm alone or if the whole world is cheering, I am just really bursting with energy, cheering myself on. And so it doesn't matter if I'm a janitor or I'm a CNN hero. And that's why it doesn't really, I don't know. Nothing, as I said in the beginning of the call, nothing has really changed. Yeah. Because I am so centered in my own motivation and finding. I've had to pull myself out of poverty. My mom was there and like really helpful and encouraging, but I've had to almost like burst into existence and take over the world just by my sheer belief in that I can do it. And so I have kind of like created an aura around me of just motivation and energy. And to answer your question is like, yeah, it was just me.
And I mean, you're doing so graciously going about that with all the attention you're getting. And we're getting to the last moments of this interview, and I know people want to hear more. And for those who are having Wi-Fi issues, don't worry, we're turning this to a podcast and we'll upload it and share. You've mentioned mom, Christine. You guys are vibes on vibes. I'm following you on Instagram, and your mom is just, tell her to open a YouTube channel. She will get followers and subscribers because
I'm working on that. I am when I go back, I'll work on that. And what I want is I want her to make unlike me, my mom loves glamour. Like she just loves. I told you, like she went back to Kenya really soon because she wanted to go brag. She was like, I cannot brag here. She's ready. She has like, so she loves glamour. Now my share can be expensive. So I want her to have I want someone to sign her up. Like a brand ambassador.
Yes.
And then then she can spend her own money on her fancy things.
You said she's back to do school?
She's gonna go back to school. She says she only needs 2 months in school to learn English. Yeah. She says she's gonna call CNN after that. She's gonna be like, hey, we had a good thing going. What happened?
I heard you say somewhere that she's doing amefanya diploma. Anaitaje?
Did you?
Anafanya diploma. Is it a diploma ama degree ama nini? There's something you mentioned in one of the interviews.
Oh no, it was my grandma who was saying, like, go get me degree and diploma. She's going to learn English because she wants to come back to America and she wants to be a manager. Oh. So I don't know what wakipanda nyasi akasema si kazi mimi naweza fanya lakini baridi. Nataka tu kazi ya manager tu. Kazi ya manager ni chunge hii watu. She has ambitions.
Your mom is definitely the backbone of you and your family, of I believe 3 other sisters. Yeah. Who else would you credit for the success of TechLit Africa? And what would you say is your success story so far of TechLit Africa?
Okay. So my partner Tyler, Tyler Cinnamon.
Partner biashara?
Partner boyfriend. We've been together for 6 years.
Together, that's gone. She's been together for 6 years. Umesikia majamaa mlikuwa mnauliza kwa chatbot. What's his name?
Tyler Cinnamon. We have been together for 6 years. We started TechLit Africa together in 2018. So like 4 years ago. And so what is really amazing about him is that he just left. Like me, people think like, oh, you left your job in America and you came back to Mogotio. Like, yeah, Mogotio is home. But for him, he left like his life in America. I did to me like latrine, never. And he came to Mogotio in the village. So the first time he came to Mogotio, I was thinking like, I need to villagize him. So I was like, okay, you're going to use a latrine. You're going to live in a 1-room apartment. And the poor guy got typhoid. Ooh. Anyway, it's like I've been amazed. Like so he grew up with computers. He grew up like programming, like just like building machines all the time. So for him, like our operating system, like we have a custom desktop that is easy for kids to use. He built that all by himself, and it's used by 600 kids. The curriculum. Our kids are building websites right now. Like for him, like he grew up with technology and is learning all these skills. So in a sense, he's able to recreate his childhood. Growing up in America with all resources, he's able to create his childhood for these kids in Kenya. And so I am constantly like, niko tu naongea tu na marketing and all these people and getting people to sign up. But when it comes to the meat of the product, it's all him.
And we appreciate Tyler. I believe you have a question or a last comment, Dennis.
Oh, it's just time she keeps mentioning her mother. There is a lady here who just tears up, I think, and she says that this is, just let me look for it, it's somewhere here. There's Brian Kiprotich. A lot of Kiprotichs are watching, by the way. Yes. This one says he's from Mongolia. Mongolia Gani? Mongolia. Inspiring story indeed. There is someone here who says, Murray's Wasai, Nelly Omogotio. Congrats, girl. There's Carol Chumba who says, congratulations, Nelly. You are inspiring me a lot. God bless you so much.
Yes.
The one I was looking for, where is it? There's Vincent Orina who says, very inspiring. A great one, and congratulations to her. And then there is Casey, not Casey, I think I read that one. Stella Chemutai.
Yes.
Stella says, proud of our girl and our mama. I get emotional all the time I listen to her talk about the mother.
Apo sasa. And I mean, there's not enough appreciation for our parents going around, and we appreciate you for actually just showing her the world. Niliona akistuka kulikuwa na German Shepherd fulani, akiona snow. What was her reaction when she saw snow?
Asama ni vumbi area hii. Yeah, she was like, everything in America is so fancy. Even their vumbi is white. Even their
vumbi yao ni white. He should open. In fact, Sema Box can easily help her with a podcast. Just her being her, she is pure.
How about you interview her next? Yeah, she has stories to tell, and she's ready to brag. So,
right.
What was funny was like she was just saying like, I just have to go to Bogotio because it's home. Like, mimi nikipata shamba hapa, mimi nimeshafika palikuwa na.
Shamba America.
America.
Well, we wish her the best. We wish you the best. I'm sure TechLit Africa is going beyond even Kenya because it's TechLit Africa, but you've started home and charity begins at home. We really want to appreciate you and the great honor that you have given us as our first guest for, the social newsroom. And Sema Box, yes, we want to sign up, Mom. She is pure vibes. I want to give you an opportunity to end with that song that you sang with Mom as you were receiving that award. And you can just give a quick background to what it means. And ilikuwa wendo umecompose?
No, the song is it's very common. Like kids sing this song. You learn these kids in class 5, I'm a class 4.
Yes.
So the song, again, I can give you a little bit of backstory. So I used to see how exhausted she was when she gets home. So sometimes like she'll go all the way to Uganda to buy stuff and come sell, or go to Tangulu Bay, like to Turkana there and buy goods. So I saw that, and I'll sing her the song. Mkono wangu mdogo we hawezi kufanya kazi, nikikuwa mkubwa we nitakusaidia, utapumzika. And then she just light up, and she was like, oh, you're so cute. She thought I was just being like nice and sweet. And I was like, no, so that song was a promise, and I just really, so I used to sing to her over and over again. She was like, we watch zako.
But hey, well done. Asante sana Kongoi. Tuite inaitwa ni Koitro ama ni Rorasho ya Tyler?
Hapana, chana hizo bana.
Kijana wetu amesaidia sana. Keep shining. You are one of the youngest people who have met that are actually self-actualized. You are not caught up in the fanciness of what people show or try to pretend. You're being very genuine. You're using your gift to empower people, and you're starting at home. Asante sana. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day. Najua uko saizi imefika, I think it's 10.
Yeah.
All right. Salimia Morio, Tyler. Anaitwa Njoroge.
Njoro wa Uber. Sasa Njoro.
Oh man, we could go on and on. By the way, tumepita na 20 minutes ile conversation tulikuwa tunayo, lakini that just shows your good company. And so thank you so much, Nelly Cheboi. Keep shining, and we celebrate you.
Asante. Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a beautiful day. They know.